Let's look at muscles of the appendicular skeleton. I'm going to try to hold this where it once was. This arm has been loved quite thoroughly because this particular arm, this particular model, lives in the Science Study Center. And I put all these labels on here, and I just leave it in the Science Study Center. I usually replace the labels every quarter because they get so tattered. But I'm gonna wait until we're back on ground to replace these. Anywho, this muscle that my thumb is on, deltoid. Uh-oh, let's go get Doug. Doug, you gotta be with us too, honey. You can't be just hiding out. Deltoid, okay? A triangular muscle that's sitting right on your shoulder. Pretty big, pretty beefy, okay? We're actually gonna get this one out of the way only because it's not attached. This particular one isn't attached. That's why there's tape all over it. Okay. And this particular model, of course, is already labeled. I'm gonna turn it so that you can read the labels, although I'm gonna walk you through anyway. All right. See this, and that. A, B, and C. You're gonna be so mad. That's actually one muscle. That's one muscle. Okay. That muscle's called Triceps Brachii, and the deltoid that I removed was here. And right now I'm more or less holding this arm using the shoulder blade. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, so all three of those, Triceps Brachii. The Triceps Brachii has multiple heads, which is not uncommon for a muscle to have multiple heads. I haven't assigned all of the heads for all of the muscles in the body that have multiple heads, but for the triceps I did. This guy is more laterally positioned and is the lateral head. This guy is most medially positioned and is really short medial head. And this guy just goes one and one and one and one. Long head. All right, lateral head of the Triceps Brachii, long head of the Triceps Brachii, medial head of the Triceps Brachii. All right, and to get an idea using a stationary model, right? Triceps Brachii is back here. Triceps Brachii back here. Triceps Brachii back here. Lateral head, long head, medial head. Triceps Brachii back here. Lateral head, long head, and then medial head's really tucked in there. Just because of the way Pip is turned. Okay. Whereas if we look at the anterior of the arm, God, too many things. Too many things. This rather superficial but very beefy muscle, Biceps Brachii. And that's, oh, sorry, that's the antagonist to Triceps Brachii. There's Biceps Brachii. There's Biceps Brachii. Okay. Now notice, whoop, that Biceps Brachii is actually sitting on top of a wider muscle. Not as long, but wider. And that wider, deeper muscle is Brachialis. They both help you flex your arm at the elbow. Okay, let's see what Pippa has to offer in terms of Brachialis. So this would be biceps, and then there and there. There and there, peekabooing at us, Brachialis. Here's biceps, okay, and here and there, peekabooing at us, Brachialis. Now, The upper arm, that's easy. It's the lower arm that is just a beast. It's a beast. And it's best learned by touching. Do you see the problem? I can't let you touch this. I can't invite you to school. This sucks. See this? See how this guy's kind of wrapping around? And it's got a buddy right next to it. If you look at the entire forearm, those are the only two muscles that do that kind of sweeping coupled thing. They're parallel to each other and rather sweeping. This one, which is really on the border between anterior and posterior, Brachioradialis, not to be confused with Brachialis. Brachioradialis, right on that border between anterior and posterior, okay? Now I'm turning the arm, which is really the trick to learning the arm, and now I'm looking at posterior, okay? If it's on the posterior, then it's an extensor, whereas if it's on the anterior, then it's a flexor. Flex, extend. Okay, really flex, extend, hyperextend. Anywho, brachioradialis, get ready. Extensor, carpi, radialis, longus. Yes, all 4 words. Unless you don't want all the credit. This guy, that's more or less aligned with the digits, like the center of the hand, okay? Extensor digitorum, right in the middle. This guy, extensor carpi ulnaris. Wait a minute. This was extensor carpi radialis longus because it's extra long. But why was this called extensor carpi radialis? Carpi, oh, it's headed to the carpals, okay? Radialis, oh my God, it's aligned with the thumb. Who's got a radius? This guy. Okay, look at this guy. Oh, aligned with the pinky. Who's got an ulna? That guy's got an ulna. So no wonder that's Carpi Ulnaris. I'm continuing to turn. There's something loose in there. So funny. I'm still aligned with the pinky. Okay, but now I'm on the anterior side. I can see the palm. So flexor, carpi, ulnaris, because I'm still aligned with the pinky. Okay, not surprisingly, this guy here is flexor, carpi, radialis, because it aligns with the thumb. Sandwiched between the two, running to the palm, palmaris longus. Okay, again, the trick is to turn, so I'm going to keep doing this. Brachioradialis, extensor carpi, radialis longus, extensor digitorum, extensor carpi ulnaris, flexor carpi ulnaris, palmaris longus, flexor carpi radialis. What should be next? Brachioradialis. Okay, and then just in case your brain will benefit from it, I'm going to turn it this way slowly. Personally, I think of brachioradialis as a good place to either start or stop, because it's right on that cusp, right on that edge between anterior and posterior. Okay, so there's the arm. There's the arm. Forearm is the devil. Sorry. Now let's look at the leg, and I do have, oh, actually, just in case it helps when you're studying, just just want to show you what Doug has to offer in terms of forearm. Okay, here's the other forearm that Doug has for us. He's tiny, so it's not as clear, okay? Whereas Pippa's nice and big. Come on. Can you find all those things on Pippa? Be a good idea to practice. Don't you think? See a couple things wrapping around parallel to each other. Okay, here's Pippa's other arm in a different position. Always a good idea. Pippa, you're the bomb. Pippa better be the bomb. She costs like, I think at least $1,000. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, anatomy models are just so expensive. And yet, as soon as we start using them, they lose their value. Like, it's not like you could resell an anatomy model and get much. No fun. Okay, let me grab the leg. You depreciate faster than a car. Okay, so the leg is almost the opposite of the arm because the lower leg is easier than the upper leg. Okay, so let's start out easy. And I have labeled some bone markings here too. This is lateral malleolus of the fibula, okay? This is not muscle, it's actually tendon. And the closer I am to the heel, the more sure we are that that's the calcaneal tendon. The closer we are to this big muscle, really beefy. Stand on your tiptoes and you'll feel it. Gastrocnemius. Gastrocnemius. The more certain we are that this is tendon of gastrocnemius. Now, where's the fence? Oops, sorry. Where's the fence between them? Don't worry about it. It's not like I'm going to point here and say, which tendon is this? I'd point way down or way up. So there's no doubt in your mind, okay? Gastrocnemius, okay? Doug's got some nice leg muscles. Pippa's got some nice leg muscles, okay? Now, do you guys see deep to gastrocnemius, this really thin muscle? Okay, well, here's what's crazy. It's so thin and so broad. It's on the other side too. It's called the soleus, which is easy for me to remember because sole is a flat fish. There's Pippa's soleus versus gastrocnemius. Okay, so underlying the gastrocnemius. Okay, now I'm going to turn a little more anterior on this leg model, running along the shin, tibialis anterior. Oh, I think this whole thing is oriented that way, so let's flip it. There we go. So tibialis anterior, okay, and then soleus. Those are all the lower leg muscles that I assigned. And then there's another landmark, medial malleolus of the tibia, okay? Now let's look at the upper leg. This is the lateral view, all right? And here, this is gluteus medius, although the sculptor really covered it up quite a bit with this tendon-like sheet of fascia, okay? Whereas on Pippa, you can see it peeking, peekaboo, peekaboo. Gluteus medius versus gluteus maximus, okay? Gluteus medius versus, oh, there it is, gluteus maximus, Okay, not shabby. Now, notice there's a surprise. Oh, this muscle, Iliopsoas. And I have heard it called the psoas muscle. Iliopsoas. And then iliac crest is just a landmark, a bone marking. Okay, this guy, Tensor fascia lata. Tensor fascia lata. Tensor fascia lata. Whereas this, iliotibial tract. I've heard it called IT band. Maybe you have too. Okay. Now I'm looking at the anterior view, and this leg doesn't stand up for me at all, so there's going to be a lot of bang bang whenever I let go. All right. Here, here, and here. All three of those, plus one you can't see, make up the quadriceps. That collection is called the quadriceps. Okay. I've only assigned the three most superficial quadriceps. The three most superficial muscles in that grouping, okay? Whereas if you were in a slightly more evil class, come on, Pippa, let it go. I know nobody's opened you up before, okay? Underneath is yet another muscle. Okay, anywho. The quadriceps, or the members of the quadriceps group that you need to know. Vastus lateralis. Vastus lateralis. Here. Rectus femoris. And here. Vastus medialis. Okay, let's look at Pippa. Vastus lateralis, rectus femoris. Did you get it? Vastus medialis. Good job. Look at Doug. How you doing? Pretty good? I hope so. Okay, so there's anterior of the upper leg. Now, here's medial aspect of the upper leg. And this crazy muscle that's kind of wrapping around, going from anterior to medial, is the sartorius. Sartorius. And you can really see Pippa's set. Sartorius, sartorius. Sartorius, sartorius. Doug is cooperative as well. Okay, whereas this guy, still medial, really straight, like a blade of grass. Gracilis. And this little guy, who's not necessarily little, he's just really buried, pectineus. Okay. Let's see. Doug's got good gracilis. Pippa's got good gracilis and good pectineus. I just wish you could sort of get your head in there. I don't know if you can. The camera's small, but not that small. Okay. All right, let's do the posterior leg. Oh my God. All right, these muscles, there are actually three muscles here, okay? Collectively make up the hamstrings that you've probably heard of before. This guy, semitendinosus, and I remember that semitendinosus is on top. top, because sitting underneath, deep 2, semitendinosus is this broader muscle, kind of like the soleus is a little broader than the gastrocnemius, or the brachialis is a little broader than biceps brachii. This is semimembranosus, okay? And then this guy is biceps femoris, okay? I'm gonna back off a little bit. Notice that biceps femoris is more lateral because I'm holding the gluteus maximus right now, okay? And then the semitendinosus and semimembranosus are more medial. And we're back to iliotibial tract. Okay, let's see what Doug and Pippa have going on. Doug, what can you do for me? Can you do that? This is an adventure. Oh, Doug. Okay. Biceps femoris. Oh, we have more than one biceps. Oh, okay. Here, semimembranosus, whereas there, and for that matter, there, semitendinosus. Let's look at Pippa. Okay, lateral, lateral. Therefore, these are biceps femoris. Medial, medial. Okay, this guy, aka that guy, semimembranosus. I'm sorry, tendinosus top. Okay. Whereas this guy, peekaboo, 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 semimembranosus. Now, especially where pivot is concerned, you're probably seeing a gazillion other muscles, right? Do we have more muscles than those that are on the practicum study guide? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've just assigned those that are most superficial, okay? Now, while I have video going, I thought we might look at the knee joint model. Since the knee joint shows up on Practicum 2 study guide as well. Let's see if we can boost this a little bit. Maybe on a book. Maybe. Okay. All right, so here's our knee model. It's one of our knee models. I'll show you another one in a hot second. There are only some features of the knee joint that are depicted in the model, okay? Oh, I thought I opened this up already. Shoot. Poopers scoopers. I hope this warms up fast. Come on, sweetie pie. Warm it up. Warm it up, warm it up. And day now. Students are waiting. They're waiting right now. Okay. Here and here are unfortunately not the same thing, but apparently the sculptor had only so many media to work with, okay? This is patellar ligament, which is not surprising. Ready? Peekaboo! There's the patella. Okay. Whereas this is the tendon of the quadriceps. Okay. Who's this? Femur. Who's this? Tibia. Who does that make this? Fibula. Okay. Notice that the fibula doesn't have a lot to contribute to the knee joint. Not a whole heck of a lot to say. All right. But this guy, very lateral in position. Okay, very straight. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. This is the fibular collateral ligament. The fibular collateral ligament. Was I wrong to move the camera? Yeah, maybe. Oi. Oi, oi. And by the way, in your Practicum 2 study guide, the labels are left blank. That's because they are already filled in which lecture? Chapter, what's joints, 9? Is joints 9? I think it's 9. Yeah, no, 8? It's 8. So if you go to your Chapter 8 practicum, or not practicum, lecture slides, then you'll see all those things labeled. I'm going to find the knee joint in the book too, to make sure I'm using the same words. And of course I can't. I can't because I'm trying, right? There we go. Okay, I think, what did I just, I did give you fibular. Okay, good, yeah. Fibular collateral ligament, okay? Whereas, same kind of formula, very, very straight, but this time medial in position. Tibial collateral ligament, that's not surprising, okay? Tendon of Quadriceps femoris, whereas the higher we get, the more likely we're looking at actual muscle. Anywho, now, I'm about to do something with this model that's going to creep you out. I'm really, really sorry. Everybody usually goes, oh my God, it looks so painful. I hate it. Okay, hey, these rather disc-shaped cushions are menisci, as hopefully you well know. Okay, these are the menisci of the knee. This is the medial meniscus, and this is the lateral meniscus. Okay, and then this guy that my probe is under, okay, that guy is the anterior cruciate ligament. Okay, now here's what's crazy about it. It's attached inferiorly to the anterior of the tibia, but it's attached posteriorly to the, or rather superiorly to the posterior of the femur. Okay, so it's crisscrossing. It's crisscrossing, okay? So if it's attached to both a posterior and an anterior, why is it called anterior cruciate ligament? Well, here's the rule of thumb for the cruciate ligaments. They're named after wherever they attach to the tibia. This one attaches to the tibia at the anterior aspect, okay? Whereas, I'm gonna kind of try to bypass the anterior cruciate ligament, the one that I'm pulling on now, behind it, currently behind it. See that one? This guy. Does it attach to the anterior or the posterior of the tibia? Yeah, the posterior. And we can look at it this way too. Crisscross. Crisscross. See that? Okay. Anterior cruciate ligament, posterior cruciate ligament. All right? And this model doesn't have any other ligaments. Even though I did assign, I want to say 2 more? What else did I give you? I thought I gave you 2 more. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Did I? Oh yeah, I think I gave you arcuate. think. Anyway, let me show you another knee model. Oh, that one's flat and not so interactive, but I can see articular cartilage. I can even see a bursa. I can see patellar ligament. I can see ligament of quadriceps femoris. I see patella, femur, tibia. Heck, I can even see soleus and gastrocnemius. Wow. I can even see semimembranosus and semitendinosus. Good grief. Okay. Fatty pad isn't very clearly shown. I think this little right here is the sculptor's attempt at showing synovial cavity, but really it would extend from one articular surface to the other, okay? And then these guys are sort of showing the menisci-ish. I've seen better. Okay, but very different information from the last model. Okay, let me double check and see if there's anything else that maybe we should grab while it's hot. I think we're good. Arm, arm, leg, 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 arm, arm, leg, 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 leg. Yeah, good times.